It's a very purposeful weirdness that we're going like, no, this is part of the franchise. It always has been, but like, this is very intentionally here to stay.
After 4 amazing seasons, the USS Cerritos crew in Star Trek Lower Decks is back for their last adventure with a bang, releasing 2 episodes at once. The show has been lighting up screens since 2020 by bringing us the hilarious chaos of Starfleet's second contact missions. One exciting thing about this new Season 5 is that Star Trek Voyager's Harry Kim is stepping back into the Star Trek universe, with Star Trek Enterprise references showing up in both the trailer and new episodes. We might be seeing even more familiar faces joining the Cerritos crew, as USS Cerritos is back one last time for Star Trek Lower Decks. Season 5, Episode 1, Dos Cerritos. Star Trek Lower Decks. Season 5 opens Dos Cerritos with a bang, literally. We're thrown straight into the action with Tendi leading an Orion raiding party, a dramatic shift from her usual science officer role. The opening sequence wastes no time showing how much Tendi's grown while staying true to her character. She's commanding a raid on a merchant starship, but in classic Tendi fashion, she's trying to minimize violence, much to her crew's frustration. Speaking of that crew, Lower Decks brilliantly subverts our expectations here. Instead of the stereotypical bloodthirsty Orion pirates, we get a group that's more interested in career development than plunder. One even dreams of teaching evening classes. It's exactly the kind of clever twist Lower Decks excels at, taking established Star Trek tropes and turning them on their head. The Orion ship itself is a treat for longtime fans. It's based on the classic Dorarop design we've seen in both the original series and Strange New Worlds. This attention to continuity shows how Lower Decks keeps building bridges between different Trek eras. Then there's the introduction of the Blue Orions, who burst onto the scene looking like space superheroes. It's a perfect example of how the show can introduce new elements to established Trek lore while keeping things fun. Meanwhile, the Cerritos storyline goes full parallel universe, giving us 2 ships stuck in different realities. The solution? A brilliant callback to Star Trek Enterprise, where they need to align both ships, similar to what the NX, EO1 Enterprise, and Columbia did. It's these kinds of deep-cut references that make Lower Decks special. They're not just callbacks for the sake of callbacks. They drive the plot forward. The parallel universe crew is where things get really interesting. We've got an alternate Boimler, who's made Starfleet's 30 Under 30 magazine. Apparently, even in the 24th century, they can't resist a good listicle. This little detail does double duty. It shows us what a confident Boimler looks like, while also giving us a fun peek into Starfleet's cultural side. The magazine even mentions Naomi Wildman from Voyager has made it into Starfleet, exactly the kind of world-building detail that rewards attentive fans. The alternate Cerritos crew is fascinatingly different, without falling into typical evil alternate universe cliches. Cyborg Rutherford has erased all memories of Tendi, which hits harder knowing our Tendi is off with the Orions. Captain Becky Freeman, the alternate version of Captain Freeman, walks a perfect line between familiar and unsettling. She's not evil, just different enough to be concerned. Jack Quaid's voice work as alternate Boimler deserves special mention. This Boimler has no anxiety, which sounds simple, but creates a completely different character. The contrast between him and our perpetually nervous Boimler highlights just how much Quaid brings to the role. The episode keeps throwing interesting mysteries at us. What happened to the alternate Captain Freeman? We're told she's at Starbase 80, apparently a fate worse than death in Starfleet. Our Boimler stealing his alternate's pad suggests bigger revelations coming later. These aren't just random plot threads. They're carefully placed breadcrumbs leading us deeper into the season. The parallel universe plot reaches its peak when Captain Becky Freeman tries to take over the Prime timeline, leading to one of the show's best lines about gently phaser firing at their ship. It's classic Lower Decks humor, finding the absurd in serious Star Trek situations. The opening credits deserve their mention. They've added a giant hand, the Voyager probe, and V'ger's cloud from Star Trek, the motion picture. This attention to detail shows how much the creators care about Trek's history and their show's evolution. What makes this episode particularly strong is how it balances self-contained adventure with a season-long setup. Unlike Season 4's Nova Fleet storyline, which sometimes felt heavy-handed, this episode's threads feel organic. The Blue Orions declaring war at the end doesn't feel forced. It flows naturally from everything we've seen. The episode masterfully juggles serious character development with classic Trek sci-fi concepts and Lower Deck's signature humor. Tendi's growth is evident but doesn't feel rushed. The parallel universe story puts fresh spins on familiar ideas. Even the smaller moments, like the Orion Pirates' career aspirations, contribute to the show's unique voice. Episode 2, Shades of Green. Tendi's sister is pregnant and next in line to lead an influential Orion pirate clan, a position that brings both honor and responsibility. Naturally, Tendi's family expects her to return and help with her sister's child, an expectation that clashes with Tendi's Starfleet commitment. Torn between her family's traditions and her life in Starfleet, Tendi faces a dilemma that takes her deep into Orion culture and family dynamics. To settle the matter, Tendi's family proposes a classic Orion solution, a high-stakes spaceship race. The prize? Ancient treasure and family honor. The risk? A crushing blow to their reputation within the Orion Syndicate. This is no ordinary competition. The race pits family against family in a public event where losing means disgrace. Tendi is torn between her loyalty to Starfleet and the deep-rooted call of her Orion heritage, which she's tried to reconcile since joining Starfleet. Watching her navigate these personal stakes adds emotional weight and gives fans a fresh glimpse into her complex identity. The spaceship race is a thrilling and visually spectacular sequence. Tendi proves her skill and cleverness by navigating the challenging course, with her family cheering her on in the face of dangerous competitors. Her sister's ship is nearly overtaken by the notorious Blue Orions, a fearsome group known for their relentless tactics. Tendi's quick thinking saves her sister, reinforcing her place in the family as someone who blends Starfleet's ethics with Orion's strength. Through Tendi's bravery, the family wins the race, securing their honor and treasure. Yet, Tendi makes it clear that her place remains in Starfleet, leaving her family proud, but aware that she has a different path. Meanwhile, back on the Cerritos, Boimler and Mariner are participating in a unique ritual on a Federation planet that's transitioning away from capitalism, a money-burning ceremony. This cultural ritual takes on an amusing twist for Boimler, still under the influence of an ultimate reality pad. Mariner, unbothered, joins in the fun until things go wrong as usual on lower decks. Hostile robots and rebellious citizens throw the ritual into chaos, giving the crew a chance to engage in classic lower decks antics that combine action with unexpected humor. The subplot is quirky and amusing, balancing Tendi's high-stakes race with a lighthearted tone and emphasizing the cultural diversity at the heart of Star Trek. Tendi's conflict of family versus Starfleet values creates a satisfying character arc. Her loyalty, creativity, and moral compass come together in a way that speaks to both her Orion roots and her Starfleet upbringing. The episode also provides rich insights into the Orion Syndicate, often seen as a criminal empire, but here portrayed with depth and humor. Characters like Tendi's family add a range of personalities to the mix. Orions with dreams beyond the pirate life, like becoming teachers and mentors. This nuanced portrayal of Orion society feels fresh, showcasing a complexity rarely seen in other Star Trek series. The episode closes with a fun cameo of Badgie, a rogue AI who's caused chaos in previous seasons. Although it's brief, Badgie's appearance hints at potential storylines, satisfying longtime fans who enjoy these recurring characters. Badgie's presence, though minor here, is a nod to the zany unpredictability Lower Decks is known for. What should we expect in the next coming episodes? Tendi's Orion family drama is far from over. Will her sister's pregnancy spark more chaos? Or will Tendi finally reconcile her Orion heritage with her Starfleet ambitions? And with hints about a possible Federation Orion Syndicate clash, the stakes are higher than ever. Then there's Boimler's strange new attitude, influenced by the ultimate reality Ipiad. How will this new Boimler fare when he's thrown into situations his old self would have panicked over? And what secrets are hidden on that alternate reality pad anyway? Meanwhile, the Blue Orion's declaration of war looms, and Starbase 80's ominous presence promises even more intrigue. Plus, with legacy characters like Harry Kim already making appearances, who else from the Trek universe might join the Cerritos crew for one last hurrah? One fan said, "The concept of the Blue Orions doesn't strike me as that different from the Andorians and the Enar. I was delighted at the accuracy of the Blue Orion's amazingly campy uniforms from 1973. While another one said, "I really hate that this is going to be the final season of Lower Decks. And as we keep watching the next episodes of Lower Decks, be sure to check out Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Season 4, huge update revealed.